Well, good morning, all of you. Good morning, everyone at Unity of London at 501 Nelson Street. And for those who may be watching this later on their screen. So I'd like to just welcome you and to remind you that for those of you who have phones, to maybe check on Facebook and let people know where you are. And then to shut your phones off so that we can be totally focused on the wonderful lesson that we have today. So we are still in August 20th. And the power for August is will, which is the ability to choose, decide, and lead. And the location of will is in the front of our brain, and the color is silver. So it's sort of silver. So if you think that you need some will to get things going in your life, then just put on a little bit of silver, whether it's your earrings or other articles of clothing. So at Unity of London, we have a vision. So if you'd like to repeat this with me, our vision, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. A world powerfully transformed through shared spiritual awakening. And so along with that, we also have a mission, co-creating with spirit to transform lives through that shared spiritual awakening. So we are about co-creating with spirit to transform lives. And how do we do that? Well, we do that by being a loving, inclusive, supportive community. And the community just doesn't need to be our Unity of London community. It can be all sorts of other communities that we may belong to. Maybe if you belong to a group, if you belong to a club, whatever, you can make that a loving, inclusive, supportive community as well, because we are all one. We also do this by promoting self-expression. And so what self-expression is, and to be clear on that, self-expression is promoting our highest and best self, our self-love. That's what we want to put out into the world. Our love for others, our love for ourselves. We also do that by living the 5 principles. And so the 5 principles is God is. There's only one power, one presence in the universe, God, the good, omnipotent, one power. I have a bit of a spark of that divinity within me. I created. That means that we, as was said in our mission and vision, we co-create with God to create the highest and best world that we can. And how do we communicate with that divine spirit within? Well, through prayer and meditation. And it's not enough to know that there is only one God, that we're part of that we co-create with God, that we pray and meditate with God, but we need to live these 5 principles to go out into the world and to self-express love, to create communities, and to do all of those other things that is important to us. And of course, we need to inspire, but actually by doing all that we've just talked about, we will inspire people to make a positive difference in the world, because we can set the example, we can be the change. And also, finally, last but not least, we provide fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life. It doesn't make any difference what faith, religion you were raised in. You are welcome. You are welcome at Unity of London, and for the fellowship and for the education, wherever you may come from. Okay, so our special announcements today. We have our prayer chaplains. Dawn is going to be praying with those of you who are at 501 Nelson Street. And I will be praying with you for those of you who are online. So if you would just like to send me a chat, then we can make arrangements to pray after the service. So that's the end of our announcements today, but I would like to take this moment to just thank Pauline and all of those people who helped her put on the youth leadership program last week. So we affirm right here, right now, that has made a big, big difference for potential youth leaders. Well, actually, they're youth leaders now. We affirm that. And it's made a difference too for the people who participated to be able to see the growth and development in these young people. So thank you very much to Pauline and her team for doing that program.
Yeah, I am a light, I am a light in this world, in this world. I am a light, I am a light in this world, in this world. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine. I see the joy, I see the joy in this world, in this world. I see the joy, I see the joy in this world, in this world. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine. I'm living love every day. 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 Spreading peace along the way. Spreading peace along the way. Right time, right place. Living love every day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah. Right time, right place. Living love every day. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world, in this world, in this world, in this world. I am a light, I am a light, I am a light, I am a light in this world, in this world, in this world, in this world. This is the place, this is the place, this is the time, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This is the place, this is the time. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
So, Unity was founded on prayer. Over 130 years ago, Silent Unity was founded, and people were sending letters for prayer. They were sending letters to Myrtle Fillmore, and she would reply, written letters in prayer. So now, of course, we can phone Unity, Silent Unity, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for prayer. 1-800-NOW-PRAY. And at Unity of London, you can also put your prayer requests in the prayer box, which is at the front of the sanctuary. So you can just take your little piece of paper and put your person's name that you'd like to hold in prayer, put that name in the box, and they will be prayed on by our prayer angels, prayer chaplains, and then those names will be sent on to Unity for 30 days. So let's just pray, hold those people high that we want to pray for. And today, we also hold in prayer Unity Center of Montreal and Unity Worldwide Ministries. So now let's go into prayer. And as we do that, if you'd like to become comfortable in your chair, close your eyes if you wish. Let's take a deep breath. And just relax. Set aside any of the busyness that you've had for the morning, whatever you were doing, getting ready to come to Unity, getting ready to check into Unity, whatever you were doing this morning, let us just relax. And this morning we bless everyone attending all spiritual gatherings, knowing that there are many paths to the one God. We bless all those watching online and all those at home who are using this day to take care of themselves and their families, or to be on holidays, or to be camping, or to be doing whatever they are called to do. We take this opportunity to hold anyone that you wish in blessings and prayer, and to speak their names quietly into this space now. Today, we especially bless all of those in northwestern Canada that are experiencing the challenges of fires, that have been asked to leave their homes to escape, that do not know what they may face when they return, when they can return. We bless all of those experiencing those challenges in the Northwest Territories and in British Columbia, knowing that God is fully present with them. And although they may not be able to see it right now, the highest and best is unfolding for them. We affirm that now. We affirm that for anyone who may be facing challenges today and any day. And so as we move forth into this day, we understand and affirm that I am one with all that is. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. And so today we're going to welcome George Wilson for the reading of our daily word and to introduce our guest speaker.
Today's word is understanding. With understanding, my spirit is always cool. One of the best ways to remain calm in any agitating circumstance is to practice understanding. Seeking to understand gives me information and insight and eases my reactivity. It keeps my emotional thermostat dialed down if I am tempted to lose my cool. Perhaps poet Rudyard Kipling was referring to understanding in the poem If, when he wrote of the importance of keeping your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you. Properly mastered, my power of understanding gives me the strength and presence of mind to be a beacon in times of trouble or crisis. Whatever this day may bring, I will carry the light of understanding with me. I am cool in spirit. I am understanding. From Proverbs chapter 17, verse 27. One who is cool in spirit has understanding. Our guest speaker is an author, coach, and writer. Nick Grimshaw's purpose is to help others to rediscover their unlimited potential. Nick helps people struggling with inner transformation to go from feeling stuck, frustrated, and dissatisfied with their lives to feeling positive, inspired, and filled with purpose without turning their lives upside down. Nick is the author of How to Write and Use Powerful Affirmations, and he has a course, Affirmations Masterclass. With his message, Your Surrender Experiment, please join me in welcoming back our friend and speaker, Nick Grimshawe.
Well, I have a green light. Thank you very much, George. So welcome, everybody. All divine beings. It's great to be here with you today. And I'm excited to share a talk on your surrender experiment. And of course, I stole that directly from Michael Singer and his book on the surrender experiment. So I'm borrowing the title a little bit, but we're talking about your surrender experiment today. But before I start, I'd like everybody to do one thing for me. I'd like you to turn to the person closest to you and tell them you are beautiful. Can you all do that for me? And online, you can throw kisses to each other online, or on Zoom, okay? Thank you. It's now that we're all beautiful and we're ready to go, I want to talk about, let me see, where's my clicker? So your surrender experiment is a big topic. Surrendering is a big topic, and surrendering could be letting go, accepting, releasing. All those terms define what surrendering is. But the reason I chose, there we go. The reason I chose experiment was for a very good reason, because experiment is to try something new, especially to discover or learn something. So you're experimenting, and the fact that you're experimenting means you can't make a mistake. I think it was Edison who said, I didn't fail. I just tried 10,000 different things that didn't work until I found the one that did. Okay, so that's what we're talking about when we're experimenting. And I wanted to get that whole idea that you might fail at doing this clear, where nobody's going to fail at this surrender experiment. Okay, what's happening to there we go. So my name is Nick Grimshawe, and I am an apprenticed surrenderer. And I wanted to get that across right away because I don't have all the answers about surrendering. I'm just an apprentice. I'm learning how to do this along with everybody else here. And Michael Singer would probably tell you, even after 40 or 50 years of his surrender experiment, that he is still an apprentice as well. So we're all friends here, and we're all apprenticed. So on our journey today, I want to give you a couple of assurances. I want to talk about some ingredients that help you surrender. And I'm going to talk about a couple of core values that you need. And I'm going to share a little bit of a recent part of me that I'm surrendering. So to start with those assurances, people have this fear about surrendering, that they're going to end up with nothing left. If I surrender everything, what's left? Who am I? What would I be doing? But the universe, again, has your back, and it will not let you surrender on any authentic part of yourself. You're not going to let go of something that is your true nature. And the other assurance is that the universe will only let you surrender in authentic parts of yourself that you are ready to surrender. So you're not going to be asked to surrender some huge thing that you've got sitting there all at once. The universe is going to give it to you so that it's something that you can surrender. The universe has your back. And I don't know if anybody here remember the Dave Clark 5? Anybody? Okay, everybody who put up their hands, you just surrendered your age to the audience. Okay, so the song is I'm in pieces, bits and pieces. Anybody remember that? Yeah, that's what you're surrendering, bits and pieces. It's not, you're not being asked to do something beyond your ability to surrender. Oops, what's happened to my? I have a red light. What was that? Oh, there we go. So the three ingredients that you need for your surrendering. The first one is, and I had an idea of doing this like Pauline does with her show and tells, and I would have a measuring cup and all that, but I figured it would get pretty messy. So first of all, you need half a cup of self-compassion. You have to love yourself through the process of surrendering. You have to be kind to yourself. Be gentle. Don't say things like, I suck at surrendering, so I'm going to give it up. Okay? Just relax and just love yourself. Be kind. Be generous. Don't be self-critical. 1/4 cup of courage. And this is the courage to stay on the path, to keep on the path. Everybody's here has been surrendering. You are in the process of surrendering. And it's to stay on the path, because sometimes it may feel like it's not working or it's stuck. But it's the courage to keep going, because the rewards, as you will see in a little while, are awesome. And finally, 1/4 cup of patience. You need to have patience. It's not all going to happen overnight. It takes time. Sometimes, I don't know, has anybody had this experience where you think, I finally surrendered that. And then 2 weeks later, there it is, sitting right up there again, right? So patience. Core values are those things that we live our life by. They're the things that we hold dearest to us. In one of those, for surrendering, one of the most critical core values is curiosity. To get really interested in what's going on with your life, what's happening, what are you thinking, what is that thought for, why did I react that way to that comment, why am I feeling a little intimidated this morning, or why am I feeling that discomfort? Those are the things you're looking for, and those are the things that the universe is offering up to you to surrender. It will always be giving you those things. And if you see me, this is my surrender. If you see me sitting there doing that, I'm surrendering something, okay? So that's the thing I use when I'm surrendering. And the other one, again, is courage. And it's the courage to face what comes up, because it's not always going to be pleasant. You're dealing with letting go of things that aren't always flattering to you. I remember when I first started to meditate, and one of the first things I found was this big, deep, ugly, icky black pool of anger. I'm not an angry person. No, that can't be mine. It has nothing to do with me. But as I started through the process, I began to see those times when that anger had come through, incidents where I had been really, really angry. And you start to surrender it. So you start to surrender bits and pieces of it, and eventually it disappeared. And again, you have that experience where you're working on something, you've been doing the work, and you're not thinking about it, and something happens to you. And you go, a year ago, I would have got really angry about that. And this time you just sailed through it. You handled it, you dealt with it, whatever it was. So that sometimes we don't see our progress, except when something like that happens. So what's in it for you? And I did, I think, 4 or 5 slides on this, but really, it's the magic. That's what's in it for you. There is the magic. Once you start surrendering, the universe starts bringing it to you. So the first thing you do is you start letting go of things that no longer serve you. And I'm talking about your stories, your juicy little stories that you love to tell because you get empathy from people, or they go, oh, you poor thing, or oh, that's horrible. You know those stories you love to tell. That's what we're surrendering. We're surrendering those stories that no longer serve us. Surrendering helps you to stop struggling against what is, and this is the acceptance. We don't always like what is, so we try to change it. We try to force the world to be what it's not at that moment. So we spend all this energy trying to change things rather than accept what is. When you start surrendering, and if you read Michael Singer, I really urge you to read the book, The Surrender Experiment. But in all of his books, he talks about us putting up our walls and our defenses so people can't hurt us and intimidate us, and we put up these walls and blocks. As we surrender those, we are open to the divine within us. We become more connected to the divine within us. And when we do that, that is when the universe starts to conspire with us to bring us the things we need to surrender the item that's coming up for us. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that shortly. You can become timeless, eternal, infinite, joy-filled, and fearless. Who wouldn't want to live like that, right? So this is one of the things of surrender. You're letting go of all the fears within you, all of those things that are keeping you crunched down and thinking that you're small as a being. And it allows you to live more effortlessly. And certainly from my own experience, if you could see me when I was in my 20s and you see me now, there is a huge difference. I am certainly surrendered to peace and serenity and calmness. And there's rarely any drama in my life. Thank goodness. So what is the process of surrendering? And I want you to think about this. This lady's like, I want you all to think. Recall a time when you successfully surrendered something to the universe. Just think about that for a minute. Think about a time when you successfully surrendered. And if you're sitting here in these seats today or out there in Zoom land, you've got here because you have surrendered and you have been surrendering. And you've been surrendering beliefs and thoughts about yourself that were not true to you as an authentic being. So we're all successful surrenderers. So when we're going forward, just remember, you're already successful at doing this. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my story now. And this happened about 6 months ago. I was studying a book. I think it's The 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity by Edwina Gaines. I was studying it with my prayer partner, Diane. And it must have been something she said because I got a download. Anybody had a download like that? It's like, ooh, all of a sudden you have this insight. And my insight was that all of my adult life, I had been trained to understand that I got paid twice a month. Because I worked for somebody else, so you got a paycheck. Every 2 weeks, you got a paycheck. So that's when money came into my life, 2 times a month. This is a limited belief I didn't even know I had. But as you work, you're trained. You start looking, okay, it's 10 days before payday and I've only got $20 left. And you're trying to figure out, well, how you're going to balance that 20 and get through to the end of the month. So to me, that was a huge thing that's been sitting there I never even knew I had. So the first thing I wanted to do was an affirmation, because I'm an affirmation guy. So I came up with this affirmation. I know what I'm going to do. I am thrilled and excited that today is another payday. I'm retraining my brain because my brain's expecting to get paid twice a month. So I'm doing this retraining, reprogramming. And that's what I suggest that you guys do as you do this. And here's just an example. I am delighted and thrilled because I am in the process of releasing whatever that is, surrendering whatever it is you're surrendering to the universe. You're now getting your brain to get excited about surrendering. It's excited about being able to do that rather than, oh, okay, we got to surrender this, right? So that's an affirmation. And in the handout I've included, there are 21 surrendering affirmations that you can use to help in your surrendering experiment. So the next thing is to trust the process. The universe has told you what it wants you to surrender. So now you just have to trust the process. And again, I suggest you start small. We surrender small things. And if you're stuck with surrendering, my suggestion is you try to surrender a physical object just to sort of prime the pump and get you going. And then pay attention to what is happening in front of you. Again, it's that. Be really curious. Wonder why you have a reaction. And then that's giving you your clue to what you should be looking at. It could be just a thought, even a negative one. I'll release that. What I used to do was I would start figuring out how many days I've got till payday. And I'm still doing that. I'm still trying to release that thing. So every time I start to do that, I'm going, okay, release, 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 release that thought. But one of the things that we almost automatically do is we try to force it. And I want you to keep in mind, don't force it. So what did I do? I wanted to have a payday every day. I wanted to retrain that. I'm going to get a payday every day. So, I know what I got. I've got some CDs I can sell over here. Oh, and I've got some coins. I can take them in and sign. That would be another payday. Oh, maybe I can go to work for McDonald's for 3 or 4 shifts a week. Oh, that would be another payday. See how exhausting that is? It's exhausting. And I thought, no, and none of those things were on purpose for me. They didn't fulfill my purpose. So I thought, okay, step back. So I stepped back and I went, I'm going to release this to the universe. I'm going to let the universe bring these to me. And that's when the miracles started happening. I call them miracles. About 2 days later, after I decided to step back, I opened up my email and there's a letter from Pauline Duncan Thrasher asking me if I would do a talk in July. It was the furthest thing from my mind. I hadn't asked her for talk or anything like that, but there was the universe right in front of me. I had released the struggle and it was giving me another payday. Great. A couple of days later, my son's partner, Bonnie, emailed me and saying, we're going away for a long weekend. We'd really like you to come and babysit or dog sit our dog, because I'm very attached to their dog. And because we usually have to pay a dog sitter, we're going to throw the money to you. So what did I think? I thought, oh, hang on a minute. I do this for nothing. I love you guys. I do that for nothing. But here's the thing. Never refuse to accept a gift from the universe. Here's the gift, the universe trying to give me another payday. I've requested that. It's trying to do it. And I'm going, no, I can Don't do that. When the universe gives you a gift, accept it with love. And if that goes to even finding a coin on the street, a little 5 cents, pick it up. It's a sign from the universe that prosperity is on its way to you. And even if you pass it along to somebody else, that's fine, but don't ignore it. Don't refuse to accept a gift from the universe. So don't force it. Don't refuse the gifts. And I would love to tell you some of the other things, the little magic things that have happened along the way on this journey, but we're limited for time. So basically, next steps. If you're having trouble surrendering, you don't feel like you're doing well and you're surrendering and you want some way to start, surrender a physical object, but not any physical object. Find something that you have some attachment to. I call it, the grabby. You got a line to it. You need it, right? Find something that you can release that has a bit of an attachment to it. And like take it to Goodwill or somewhere like that. And now you're passing on something that somebody else could use and get a benefit out of. So you're doing good as well as surrendering. And the next thing again is the curiosity. Stay aware. It's mindfulness. It's being aware of what's going on around you, what you're feeling and how you're feeling it. And to look at that and go, okay, is that something that I'm being called to surrender? And it's little thoughts. Everybody here probably sitting today have had little kind of things flash through their brain as I've been talking. Those could be things that you're being asked to surrender. And when you do that, the struggle begins to get less and less. You release. What's present is what you're getting, and you are okay with that. Instead of trying to build a barrier or put a wall up, you're accepting what happens. And then finally, the final part of it, and you can do this anyway, but I visualize a balloon floating away with what I'm surrendering. But it could be a feather, it could be an eagle flying into the sky, whatever visualization you want to create, and see that going away from you and surrender it with love, with a lot of love, and just let it go. And as you let things go, you start to live more and more in present time and be more connected with the divine within you. And the magic rolls on, and it's wonderful. Okay, everybody, let's take this into meditation. What I'd like you all to do is get comfortable in your seats, sort of jiggle around and get comfortable. I want you to feel that floor under your feet. Really feel that floor. That's your anchor. I get you to close your eyes and take a few moments to find your center. Settle into your center. Now take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, release. Release the tension, release the anxiety, release and relax the body. Let your shoulders slump. Take another breath in. Exhale. And I want you to just sit in that space where you are one with divine, the divine within you. And just listen and watch to what's coming up in your mind. And as something flutters into your mind, to say, I let go, I release. Quietly to yourself, I let go, I release. Whatever comes up as you're sitting there. Keep focusing on your breath. And just release. Release. If something comes up, just let it go. Just release. Don't resist. Just let it be. Let it float away. You are a divine expression. You are powerful. All those little bits and pieces that don't belong to you, there for you to surrender. And as you do that, the divine within you, the presence within you, only becomes stronger and stronger. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, relax. Bring your attention back to the room. And so it is. Thank you.
Well, Nick, thank you so much for another great talk today. Just a really great talk. One of the things that I always thought about surrender was, until I sort of, got a better knowledge of it, was that it meant giving up. And of course, I'm not one to give up on much. So it's just good to know that it's really just about letting things go that are not serving you any further. And my favorite slide there was, never refuse to accept a gift from the universe, because there's so many times when you really do, we have a tendency to think, oh no, if someone is offering to help me with something or to give me something, like you said, the example that you used about your son's dog, taking care of the dog, it's like, oh no, I'll do that for free. No, you don't need to do that. So the thing is absolutely surrender and accept those gifts from the universe. So thank you now for another really inspiring and great talk. Appreciate that, Nick.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. everything and every little thing that I need, and I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. Oh, God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything, everything I need. God gives me everything, every little thing, every little thing I need. God gives me, God gives me.
And we affirm this morning that God gives us everything we need, that God is our source. And so we are grateful today for all of the offerings and tithes and talent that is contributed to Unity of London. We are grateful for that. And of course, as the slide says, your offerings can be made by check, MasterCard, Visa, debit, using the Tithely site, by e-transfer to unityoflondon@hotmail.com. So thank you so much for all your monetary donations, as well as all of the other things that you do to support your spiritual home, Unity of London. So we're grateful for that. So we'll just wait for a minute for our participants, our volunteers. Here we are. I see Kate, and I'm not sure who else is there. Oh, Kate and Sylvia collected the offering this morning. So thank you, Kate and Sylvia, for doing that. And so now if you'd like to just put up your hands and we'll bless this offering. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And so we have our prayer for protection. So please repeat with me. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yay, God. And so you can just surrender any thoughts of anything less than that prayer for protection. We have all of that. And now our peace song. So for you, those of you at 501 Nelson, let's just get you all together and holding hands. And this is an opportunity for me to see who all is there today. So I always appreciate that. Okay, so just before we finish up today, just remember that if you just want to come forward and give any thanks, either online or in person for Nick's talk today, who'd like to comment on Nick's talk?